Welcome to It's Only Electric. It's time to test range, consumption, acceleration and noise of the newly arrived Renault Scenic E-Tech Long Range 87. Let's start with some facts before we jump in and start the tests. So let me just set the scene with the most important facts, starting with the battery pack. It has the big battery pack. It is a long-range version with a gross capacity of 91 kilowatt hours and a net capacity of 87. That translates into a certified WLTP range of 614 kilometers. That's really good. Over 600 kilometers for this setup. Amazing. And driving on the front wheels only, so a motor here at the front, putting out 220 horsepower and 300 newton meters of torque, or 160 kilowatts. Should be able to do 0 to 100 in 7.9 seconds and has a top speed of 170 kilometers per hour. Running on 19-inch aerodynamic wheels for increased efficiency, equipped with Michelin E-Premium tires, dimensions 205/55 all around. Charge port placed here at the right front fender with a DC fast charging capacity of up to 150 kilowatts, 10 to 80% in around 45 minutes, so not that impressive. Impressive though is the home charging with a capacity of 22 kilowatts, 3-phase support. If you want to know more about this car, I recently made a full review of it. You find the link up here, so don't miss that one. It's time to start the range and consumption test. This is the beginning of the range and consumption test. The test track is 80 kilometers long and the average speed is 93 kilometers per hour. Speeds between 50 all the way up to 110 kilometers per hour. So it's a mixed track. Do the same thing every time with all the cars to get a comparable result. AC running on auto and 20 degrees Celsius. Dry mode, eco mode active, and keeping to the speed limits. That's all. Easy. Currently driving on the driver assist, the ADAS system, and I must say that it works good. It's extra equipment on this car. It's a package called driver assist package or something like that. One good feature with the driver assist functionality is that it keeps active even after switching the lane, so you don't need to reactivate that function. What I miss though is the speed limit adjustment. It doesn't seem to adjust the speed automatically if the speed limit on the highway, for instance, changes. Otherwise, I think it is a stable system. It sees all the cars with the radar at the front, keeps me steadily inside the middle of the lane, and feels safe. And I would really recommend you to equip your car with this driver assist package, because this is a car with a long range. We're going to see that today. Maybe this will be a record drive today. I mean, it's, let's see, 20 degrees outside. Yeah, exactly 20 degrees. Totally dry roads, no wind. So perfect conditions for this car to score a good range today. And it would be great to see a range over 600 kilometers. Not sure. But if that happens, that will be the best car I've ever tried. But let's see about that. Let us check the consumption. Average consumption since start, 16.5 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. And this is the quick stretch with the 110 kilometers per hour speed. 2.6 kilowatt hours seems to have been linked to climate control and others. And this is after a drive of almost 22 kilometers. Let me demonstrate the overspeed alert. Very subtle chimes, not that disturbing. Blinking now. Yeah, I guess you hear that. Not that annoying at all. I could actually live with that beeping. Compared to other cars, this is really a dream. But I still tend to turn it off. So I do that by changing the personal profile for the driver assistance system. And I do that by deactivating those features on my personal profile for the driver assist button here. So I double press that one, it jumps over to my personal profile, uses my settings. I still have the speed alert change, so it beeps once when the speed limit changes. I still think that's a good beep. I mean, since the car is not that disturbing, I think I can live with that beeping, but it's also possible to turn off. It always jumps back to the default all active profile when restarting the car. Very soon, passing the halfway, so 37.5 kilometers passed. Average consumption 14.5 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. That's a low consumption. That's a very low consumption. Impressive indeed. Let's see if we can hold this consumption. If we can, this will be really good. So the driver assist function struggles a bit on small twisty roads, and it deactivates without any further warning. It just shuts down, and you really need to be in control, because otherwise you will end up, hopefully not, but crashing. Back home from the range and consumption test, final average consumption ended up at 14.9 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. That equals to a full range for 100% of the battery pack of 584 kilometers. If you compare that to the stated WLTP range of 614, that's 95%. That's really good. I mean, almost 600 kilometers of range in this car. Real range. Impressive. Keep in mind though, very good conditions, 20 degrees, dry roads, no wind, so it will probably not be any better than this. So 584. Let's move on to the acceleration, 0 to 100 test. First 0 to 100 test, state of charge 78%, sport mode active. It's 16 degrees outside, dry roads. Attempt number 2, state of charge 78%. Come on. Zero to 100, 7.98 seconds. 0 to 60 miles per hour, 7.58 seconds. Last attempt, 77%. Same conditions. Let's go. Zero to 100, 8.28 seconds. 0 to 60, 7.88 seconds. So the best possible 0 to 100 time I achieved was 7.98 seconds. So very close to the stated 7.9 seconds. And this was at a state of charge of 78%. 0 to 60, 7.6 seconds almost. So not the fastest car, but more than enough power, and the accelerator is actually really responsive. This is a car that's fun to drive and somewhat engaging. Next thing that's up is the noise, the cabin noise test. I always measure the cabin noise at the same position. I place the microphone at the headrest height of the passenger side, and I measure the noise in different speeds, 50, 70, 90, and 110 kilometers per hour. This is the final result. Somewhat not the most silent car. I wouldn't call it noisy, but it's on par with cars like the Cupra Born, the Volvo EX30, and the Volvo EX40 or XC40, depending on what you want to call it. And I mean, this is not a premium car. This is more the mid-segment, so shouldn't be the most silent car. It's not the purpose. It's somewhat kind of a balance between price and quality. If you want to see all my test data, I actually have a spreadsheet in the members section, only available for all the members of the channel. There you have all the acceleration tests, all the noise tests, all my range tests, and a lot of charging tests too. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to do a charge test on this specific car since it has a damn long range. Wasn't able to consume all the energy and didn't have the time because I have been quite busy testing other cars too this week. So I did my best, but unfortunately no charge test this time. Maybe I will revisit the car and charge it for a later stage. Let's hope so. It's time to summarize. I have done all the tests. I'm ready and want to share some thoughts about the car. And all in all, I think this is a really decent car. It is good to see a European car on the market, especially in this size and not German. I think it's actually adds to the flavor, to the market, and gives the consumers a nice alternative to other brands. But there is some caveats, at least some things that I see as pain points. I think pain point number one is the price point. This car is a bit too expensive, especially when you go for the long range version. I mean, over 600,000 Swedish crowns with some equipment, or 56,000 euros. That's a bit too much. I mean, the battery pack is really big. I get that. But this is not a premium car. It should be a bit more cheap, a bit lower price to be able to attract more consumers. That's just my point of view. The other pain point is the front seats in this car is really close to the floor, which means that you don't get that much of a thigh support when you're tall. You sit really close to the floor and you need to like angle your legs, or I need to do that in a way that really makes my knees go outwards and touch the sides of the doors. There is actually one more very small thing, and that's the armrest on the left side on the door. It's not that well cushioned, which really creates some pain on your left elbow. Otherwise, I think this is a great car. I mean, the implementation of the screens, perfect. The new operating system with Android 12 runs really smooth and looks really good. Modern, sleek, nice themes, ambient lighting, perfect implementation. The interior is such modern, sleek looking car. The exterior too really matches the inside of the car. And the glass roof is amazing with this dimmable function. One of the best I have seen. And on top of that, the long range battery pack really brings great range and consumption. This is by far one of the best ranging electric cars on the market. So that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this video and all the information. If you did, please subscribe, like and engage, and stay electric. Thank you for watching. Speak to you soon.